Well, hey, listen, it doesn't really matter because you're always gonna when you go to a regional, you're gonna play good teams. We're playing the WCHA champion, regular season champion, so there's never any slouch teams in the tournament, and you have to be prepared regardless of who you draw. And the only fortunate thing is at least our fans will be able to get over and see us play.
What do you know, if anything, about St. Cloud State?
I know they're coached by Bob Motzko, who's done a great job, and I've heard, throughout the year. I mean, they were kind of an unheralded team, and all of a sudden they end up winning the WCHA. They had some big wins, and from what I understand, they got a good goaltender, and everything I know about them is that Bob Motzko's teams compete hard and they're well coached.
What's the preparation process for you guys like over the next few days?
Well, we'll take the next 24 hours, to start accumulating film and watching film, and we'll probably talk to a few people and see what we can find out. But at this point in the season, it's going to be more about us, and how we play. So it was more about us in the last 2 days. There's always certain aspects of the game that that you have to change a little bit based on the opponent, but for the most part, it's going to be about how we play.
As you look back, on that rough stretch, I guess, start the second half, and now you're a number 1 seed, and you have some momentum. How far has this team come over the last couple months?
They've come a long ways. I mean, it took us a little time to get into that slump, and it took us some time to get out of it. But now, I think over the last 6 weeks, we probably played our best hockey of the season, at least from a consistency standpoint. And, there's still things that we have to do better. We didn't score a power play goal today. We scored a big one yesterday. It was a game winner. And we actually gave up a shorthanded goal. So, we have to continue to work on those little parts of our game, focus on the details of our game, and, keep the guys fresh mentally. This time of the year, it's tough to practice. But, we still want to focus on certain parts of our game that make us a good team.
Have you faced Bob before?
I'm sure I have. I'd have to think about it a little bit because he was an assistant at Minnesota for a while. But I've known Bobby for a while. I have a lot of respect for him. Him and I have a good relationship. And I know his teams are always, tough teams to play. He's done a great job at St. Cloud. He's had that team in the mix almost every year he's been there, NCAA mix and certainly the WCHA. So I know he's going to be well prepared for us on Saturday.
Is there a certain style of play that you have to kind of change gears to get ready to face, like the WCHA teams play differently than, say, the CCHA teams?
There's different teams in every league. Like, playing Michigan's a lot different than playing Ferris State or Miami. I mean, every team's different, and every team has different looks to their leagues have different looks to their teams. So. And I'm sure people look at us as being different too. So, I think everybody, is based on, their skill level and their depth. And after that, it's always about, from a tactical perspective, it's always about style of play. And, I think I would expect that, St. Cloud plays an up-tempo style, and, we usually try to play that way as well.
Any concern, I'm going to assume not, but any concern about you guys getting too high after this win, worried about keeping them level-headed, even field this week, or is that not going to be a problem?
Well, every team's different. You don't know until it happens. But, I'll address it. I want to let them enjoy what they accomplished this weekend, take tomorrow off, and then we'll talk about that on Tuesday. I mean, the team we had a few years back, we won a big league championship, but that was, it was kind of a first for a group of guys. This was a first too for this group of guys. So, and then we came back in the regional and lost to Bemidji. So, we have to make sure that we understand that, what we accomplished this weekend is just one step in the process of, winning the ultimate prize.
Going back to today, what does the win mean for you and your team, would you say?
Well, I think it's important. I mean, when I started here, the objective was to win championships for the program, and and not just league championships. I mean, we want to win national championships, and we've taken some real positive strides, and we've taken a step back. And I know when when I came into Lake Superior, we had already crossed that hurdle as far as taking that step. And this program, we're still trying to get them to take that next step. We have won conference championships and playoff championships, and and we've been a good team over the last several years. But until we win that ultimate prize, I don't know if we can take that next step as a program. We have to find a way to to propel what we did this weekend and see if we can't even do better. Because as you move forward, there are no easy opponents, and we will face the top teams in the country over the next few, hopefully the next few weeks.
And what are your thoughts on winning the last CCHA conference championship?
It's special to me because, my career started as a head coach in 1991, and we won it that year, which was a very special occasion, for me, because at that time Lake Superior had never won one. They had been there, but they had never won one, so that was special. And this one's special in a much different way. It's kind of more at the tail end of, I'm closing into the end of my career, not at the beginning. So, winning the last possible one, being in that environment one last time, and it couldn't have been against a better opponent, because it seems like my teams, whether at Lake Superior or here at Notre Dame, we seem to run up against Michigan all the time in these big games. And it happened at Lake State. We play them in the NCAA tournament. We played them here in the NCAA tournament, and we always find a way to play them in these big moments. And we always have had good rivalries with those teams. So I told Red after the game, I think it was only fitting, that Michigan and Notre Dame played that last game.
And what would you say, with your thoughts on your team peaking at the right time, especially in the second half of the season here?
Well, that's what you hope that happens with your team. You hope that everything starts coming together. And I still don't think we're 100% there. As I've said, we need to continue to work on certain parts of our game. If we're going to win a national championship, it's unlikely we're going to, today we were very disciplined. We only had to kill one penalty. When you get in the national tournament, you run across officials sometimes that call the game differently than what your own league calls it. And then all of a sudden, you're killing 6 penalties. And you have to be prepared for that. So, not having to kill a lot of penalties, not having a lot of adversity, that's when we play our best. But you also have to be prepared for when you face that adversity.